Welcome to Super Movie Brothers. Let's start the show.
This is a podcast on the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.
Welcome to Super Movie Brothers, episode 150. I'm your host, Super Movie Brother Dave, and I am solo this time. Me and Jay just decided that, actually, no, Jay didn't decide anything. I had an extremely busy week the week before, and this week was just as busy, so I wasn't really, I don't even say able to, because I definitely could have gotten together with Jay and recorded something. I just didn't have the purpose. I just didn't have it in me. I don't know why. I was just one of those things. I haven't taken a break from Super Movie Bros from doing like a full episode in like 150 episodes. You know, like I never just took a week off. And for some reason, I just had this feeling. I just needed it. I just needed a fucking week off. And that doesn't happen with me very often, where I'm just like, hey, I don't want to, because I love doing the show and I love hanging out with Jay and I love, you know, talking about movies, talking about the stuff that we love. But for some reason, just this week, man, I was just feeling so drained. So instead, me and Jay didn't record what we're going to have, still publishing something, but we're going to have a top 5 list from our Patreon episode. So, and of course, in true Super Movie Bros fashion, this will be a really dumb list. This is the top 5 nude scenes. So me and Jay will be back next week with our regular show. I believe we got a couple new reviews. I know Jay saw The Long Shot, so that there's going to be a review there. There's been tons of news that has dropped, and then we got some other stuff that planned for the next episode. But in the meantime, please enjoy this episode. Welcome back for another Patreon exclusive episode of Super Movie Brothers. This is Patreon episode number 3, and this one that's coming to you tonight is from one of our patrons. It was requested by Justin that we do our top 5 nude scenes.
Thank you, Justin. This was a pleasure to do some research on.
To research on, yeah. MrSkin.com, research over. But no, we were supposed to do a movie cocktail for Serenity and talk about Firefly and Serenity and provide a new movie cocktail exclusive to Patreon for you. However, the person who was supposed to be doing that with me, I don't want to say flaked, but was unable to commit to any details as to recording times. So that's going to get pushed back. So, Jay, let's get into your favorite titties in movies ever. That's pretty much what we're being asked, right? It's like, just what's your favorite set of boobs?
Well, I'm going to start with some dong.
Dong. Dong. Where is my automobile?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. There's some dong on my list as well.
It's actually going to be. I think we talked about this before actually, but it's going to go with Eastern Promises. Viggo Mortensen's little dong in the Turkish bath fight. I thought that was.
So before we keep going here,
just a raw.
Like we're not picking these scenes based off like sexiness, right? Like we're picking.
We should probably talk about this.
What's happening, hot stuff?
Probably the most, for me at least, this is really tricky. I have 7 in particular that I have, and I'll just do 2 honorable mentions later on after the list is over. But my order is going to be a little tricky because I don't have an order. I think I don't really have a distinct like.
Oh, I have an order.
I'm trying to do one, but it's tricky for me. So, but either way, they're just going to be the more scenes that made such an impact on me while watching the movie, and also has an impact as a hole in the film or for the character as
Fair
well.
enough.
So
For me, it's the ones I picked were ones that either were shocking in the film or something that made it like stay with me. So that's why I went with the ones that I went with. So your first one is Viggo Mortensen because you like watching him fight Nude.
Well,
it's impressive fighting Nude. Number one.
Well, yes, and the fact that it was all one take. And he's with like a couple, 2 or 3 other guys fighting, and it's bare bones. It's brutal to watch. It's very uncomfortable, and you could tell he's doing all of his stunts. And my God, I hope he didn't damage the boys down there, but he could have. It was gruesome and brutal and uncomfortable, and it was exactly what happens in this kind of world in Russia, and also just the fear of what any guy would ever fear, having a fight in the nude like that, in a place like that. It's just terrifying.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 5 is not a dong, not yet.
Not a Johnson.
But it is not a good-looking nude scene either. But it is one of the first nude scenes I ever saw in a movie ever. And it is from The Shining, when he goes into room 237.
Hi, naked lady. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your bath time. I know self-care can be important. But can you do me a favor and tell me where are all the exits?
And the old woman is like she comes out of the bath and she's like, a voluptuous woman and they're making out and stuff. And he looks in the mirror and she's an old crone and she's it stays with me. Like it's haunting to the point that like when I saw Ready Player One and there she is again, like that's the only that movie, like it made me
why
cringe.
It's one of your favorite movies.
I was like, oh God. No. yes.
Twisted fuck.
So I have so many application into retirement homes right now. Just love looking at Gray Bush. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, they're out there. They're out there.
I thought you were the one that liked cougars, though.
Well, I haven't gone past 49 yet.
All right, Jack. What is your number 4?
Okay, so I'm actually gonna go with Basic Instinct.
I'm telling you, I could never have shut buttons.
This is your last warning about that?
Not just for Sharon Stone's bush flash, but I did like the fact that her character, sex equals power for her, and she knows her sexuality. She knows how to work it in the role that she's playing with the cops, with...
but it's not really a nude scene, because she's not nude.
Well, she is nude later on during the sex scene with Michael Douglas.
Okay.
Later on, that's
she's not
full on,
like nude.
But that's the thing. Sometimes these
and wasn't it a double that did the vagina? It wasn't Sharon Stone. It was a double that did the vagina, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen Basic Instinct.
Oh, really? It's a guilty pleasure of mine, of sorts. But anyway,
it looks stupid.
Yeah, kind of. But it's hot and it's kind of fun. It's just a lot of good cheesiness to it. But there's also another sex scene with. Well, not another. There's a main sex scene with her and Michael Douglas, which is really long, really sexy, kind of raunchy, kind of thrilling. But also, I love the fact that Michael Douglas just walks off naked to the bathroom and then talks to another character completely nonchalant, just buck-ass naked, and then just walks right off.
Like all those dudes in the locker room at the gym.
Exactly.
I hate that. I hate what about.
You know why? Because he was talking to a lesbian character, and he just treated her just like a
fair enough.
guy. And it was just like those scenes tied in.
As a guy, I'm not going to walk around and just like have casual conversations.
Well,
with
he
my
didn't know that
swinging.
he didn't know that she was there. But,
okay.
Spoiler. But anyway, no, I just love
spoiler
the way
for a
that
movie from 1993 that not many people like anyway.
It's got a little cult following. But I just like the way they use nudity as.
And Jay says, it's got a cult following by saying that Jay is its cult following.
I am. I just like the way they used it in the movie.
All right, my number 4 is Boogie Nights. Heather Graham.
All right, that's my number 3.
Not only because of that of Heather Graham nude, it's just the way it all happens. Like it's very much like those backroom casting couch porn videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the late great Burt Reynolds is sitting there, and she comes in, and it's like, do you want to fuck? And she's like, yes.
Yeah, she's just like really excited, and she just rolls over and lifts up her little thin dress.
She takes her shirt off. She takes that dress off in like one fluid motion.
It was gorgeous.
And then like,
and her perfect tits just fall down.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, yeah, I know. That was my.
And then she starts kissing Mark Wahlberg's character and stuff, and she's like, I always leave the skates on.
Yeah.
Because she's roller girl, so she always leaves the skates on. And then he's like, are you gonna finish? Aiming at her tits, Eddie.
I am a star. I'm a star. I'm a star. I'm a star. I am a big, bright, shining star.
But and that just kicked off her career forever. But anyway,
see, she believes it ruined her career forever. Because as she started getting older, it was there was always pressure when she was younger for her to be nude in other films.
But let's be honest, she's never been that great of an actress.
No,
she's never been very. But at the same time, in her defense, maybe she wasn't offered many projects that had some challenging.
Right. There's a lot of actresses that have the pressure to appear nude and stuff like that, and once they do, they're pressured to in everything they do.
But look, honestly,
Emilia Clarke,
it was the character, and
Emilia Clarke, who does Game of Thrones,
right.
She doesn't appear naked as much as she did in the original, first 2 or 3 seasons. But now, she was saying, every role she goes to do, it's a challenge because if it's an R rating, they want her nude in it, and she doesn't want that anymore. She did it to make her career.
Right.
She's making her career now, and she doesn't want to anymore. Yeah. And Heather Graham felt the same way about that movie, but in that scene. God damn.
I know, but also tied in with that, you have some interesting Julianne Moore sex scenes with Mark Wahlberg, but then another dong moment at the very, very last shot of the movie.
Hey, hands off my honorable mention, motherfucker. This movie's going to be my honorable mention as well. His dong later on.
Oh, see, I've been tying these things all up.
No, you can't. It's nude scene, Jay, not nude movie. Nude scene. One scene. Just one. That's it. Don't go stealing my fucking honorable mentions and fucking throwing them into your Boogie Nights talk, you son of a bitch. Did you already Boogie Nights? That was your number 3 as well.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 3 then, Jay. It's Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Hey, you got here fast. I got a surprise for you.
Thought about putting it on.
Yeah. And it is obviously Jason Segel's dong.
Oh, it is.
It's so shocking because it's
just unexpected.
It's unexpected the way he turns around and he's just like, I got what you want right here. And
but I could see you doing that before Delarn.
Absolutely not. Dude, I am a very shameful naked person. I hate being naked.
Yeah.
I don't look at mirrors when I'm naked. I only get naked before I get into the shower, the second before I jump into the shower, and then I self-loathe the entire time I'm washing myself. I hate being naked.
Wow.
I am Tobias Funke. I am a never nude.
All right. I mean, look.
Yeah, Jason Segel's dick. It was just shocking, because it's like, oh man, he's on that How I Met Your Mother thing, and now I've seen his dick, and now every week then I watch How I Met Your Mother, and I was
That's
just
all
like,
you can say.
I'm just like, that dude's got a good sized dick. And it's on such a large man. If it was on a smaller man, you'd be like, that dude is fucking a tripod.
Stacked.
Yeah, that dude's stacked.
I know, and it really they don't cut away often. They hold it there twice.
That's the thing too. Yeah,
which was even more kind of impressive because it was perfect timing as far as the playfulness and then into the reveal of the shock. And
a lot of male nudity is always a flash, right? It's just you see a flash of their
very
dick,
quick,
and then it's gone. But in that, they just hold on it for. I mean, it might only be 2 seconds, but that's more than you're used to getting.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, what is your number 2?
I'm going to go with The Dreamers. I've talked about The Dreamers before, attempting on Jay's sexy corner.
This is the one with bloody incest sex.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw up. I think I'm going to throw up.
Don't throw up.
Nice dinner that I had. I'm going to throw it up.
Yeah.
Why this movie? Why bring it up again? Why open up old wounds?
I love this movie, and there's lots of nudity.
And it's Eva Green, right?
Yes, Eva Green, Michael Pitt, and Louis Garrel. And the three of them, it's just a way to escape their reality, and they're all in love in various degrees with each other, and they're young and exploring themselves and the sexuality and just being free. It's a weird like kind of hippie movement and time period. But as far as like the particular scene, I think the one that sticks out with me is not the sex scene, the initial one, but the three of them taking a bath together. And then coming out of the bath, and then the brother and sister playfully try to like shave his pubic hair.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
And then he gets really pissed off and starts yelling at him, and that's when the reveal happens. And
nobody watched this movie. No one ever watched this movie.
And then the playful fantasy world is now cut and over with because he just snapped out of it and he's like, "What the hell is wrong with you guys? You want to turn
brother
into
and
a
sister.
little boy?
This is totally fucked. Like, what is wrong with you guys?"
Yeah. and then he gives him a little tongue lashing, and then and so it's just a very uncomfortable, weird scene where it starts off really innocent, and they're in a tub playing around.
This movie,
then they come out, and then
the way you just described this movie is a metaphor for being friends with you. It's uncomfortable and haunting.
Jesus.
Having you as a co-host is uncomfortable and haunting. I'm going to show you a text that Lauren sent me last night when I was saying we'll do our top 5 nude scenes for the Patreon episode. Let's see what Lauren said. He's going to get pervy with it.
This is my only real pervy one. If you want to call it that.
It's going to get real pervy with him. It's going to get real pervy. Every time you bring up this movie, I forget that you're the guy that watched this movie and praises it.
I do. I love it. I don't know.
I hope your sister does not listen to this.
No. Nobody in my family does.
Oh, shit. All right.
This is why it's on the Patreon.
My number 2, it's Porky's. It is the shower scene. So, like, Porky's has this great scene where the guys they sneak behind the wall to the girls' showers and they're peeking through and stuff like that. And you see all the girls naked, and it's like a boy's fantasy, right? To see the girls naked in the shower in high school and stuff. But like the reason that like it stays with me is it's like this was like the first teen movie. Like this was the first raunchy teen movie that was ever made. So a scene like that, it's kind of like the first time it's ever been done. But also, it's a funny scene. Like, totally not politically correct now. Like, right. like I'm pretty sure they were young Harvey Weinsteins, like hiding behind that wall. But
yeah. What are you gonna do about it?
5 young boys in the nude. A police lineup so that you can identify his tallywhacker. Please, can we call it a tallywhacker?
He like the hole's big enough to fit a dick through, so they fit it through, and then like all the girls are like looking at it and like, whose dick is that? Whose dick is that? And they all clear out, and the female gym teacher, who is this giant hulk of a woman, like sees it, and the way they cut it is so funny. She sees it, she's like, "What are you girls looking at?" And then she sees it, she goes, "Oh." And she zooms into the camera, arms out, like and reaching out to grab it, and then it just cuts to black, and it shows him on the other side, like his ass goes, "Oh!" and he gets like jerked in, like against the wall. And then later on, there's a scene where they're trying to figure out whose dick it is, and they have the kid in the office, and the teacher's just like, "I could tell you which one it is. Put them in a lineup. Have them take off their pants. I'll tell you which one it is." And it's like, "Can we please stop?" The principal's like, "Can we please stop saying penis?" And it's like, "Well, what would you like us to use?" Tallywhacker. The 2 male gym teachers are in the background just cracking up every time he says tallywhacker.
Oh my God.
How would you be able to recognize it? It had a mole on it. It's just so memorable.
Oh Jesus!
It's such. If you haven't seen Porky's, Jay, then like I don't know what's wrong with you. It's like the prototype for like every raunchy teen comedy that's come out.
I've heard of it. Obviously, I know of it. I just never watched it.
All right, Jay. Let's run through some of our honorable mentions.
Titanic,
obviously.
One
of my honorable mentions.
I mean, I had to put it on there. I mean that I burned, like we said before, a hole in the tape cassette player where Kate Winslet was naked.
I was reading like an interesting stat about it. Like if you think about how many people saw that movie and how it was the highest grossing film of that time, it's very possible that Kate Winslet's boobs are the most watched boobs of all time.
Yeah,
it's very possible that is a legit statistic.
And you know what's so funny too? Every other time that she's been naked, her tits don't even look remotely like the ones in Titanic.
You keep saying that. Like her boobs look different every time.
I mean, anything bigger than a handful, you risk a sprained toe.
How are you are you like? Do you?
No, she's been naked in quite a few movies since the Titanic movie.
Do you like save like all of her pictures of her nude on your phone and slide through and just go?
Well, I mean,
like a pervy flip book of Kate Winslet boob.
Maybe because of children maybe that's happened because that's a possibility. But like I don't know. They've just always looked different.
Fair enough. I mean, people age, you know.
Yeah, no,
things look different.
I'm just saying. Obviously, that was like perfect lighting. James Cameron directing it. You know, blah blah blah. And she's like 20 years old. So yeah, they're probably nice and perky and beautiful. But I loved it.
I got another one. It's in stripes, and the one guy, lieutenant, he's looking through a spyglass across like the yard at the women's shower, and he's just sitting there and he's just like, oh, look at that. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, I didn't know they had those. Oh my God, I wish I was a loofah. Yeah. And then the general walks in.
I love it.
And the general walks in and yells his name, and he throws the spyglass through the window and breaks the window and turns around. He's like, Captain, yes. I fucking love that movie.
Oh,
and it doesn't hurt that like there was just so much Bush in the 80s. Just everything was Bush. There's just so much of it.
Out there, proud.
Yeah. What else you got for honorable mentions, man?
Mischief, 1985's romantic comedy that had Kelly Preston naked. And my God, was she gorgeous. I mean, breathtakingly gorgeous. And body, face, everything.
Never seen it.
But also it tied in with a sex scene with them having sex for the first time. But the whole number was like 3 minutes long. And it's like just continuous first time having sex kind of thing. She strips off really slowly. She's having sex, and sex starts getting funny, and it becomes realistic because her head's getting banged in the in the bed, and then her doll comes in and she's trying to brush it away, and she's telling him, don't come at me, pull out. And like, you know, the whole like classic thing, like, oh, you don't have a rubber? Oh, let's play around. Like, oh, the guy's like, oh, well, you know, I could put it in just for a little bit. I promise I'll pull out, babe. And then of course it doesn't happen. So she freaks out. And it's just classic case of like, guys.
Are you sure this was a romantic comedy and not a porno? Like it was just a straight up porn.
That's the thing. It is sort of like this is 80s though. Like,
okay,
somehow for whatever reason, 80s got away with some.
They get away with a lot.
With a lot, you know.
All right, I got another honorable mention.
Okay.
This one is one for you as well. Creep 2. Because it just holds on
God, how did I forget that one?
On Mark Duplass's dong for so long. And we talked about it a couple episodes ago when you reviewed Creep 2. Yeah,
I know.
It just holds. It's just like he is full frontal for damn near a whole minute.
It's just there.
And it just I mean,
you just can't.
I'll never not see it.
You just can't not see it. Yeah. I mean, it's just so there.
Every time
it's a distance shot. So his penis is technically front and center.
Yeah. So every time
you cannot not see it.
Every time I see Mark Duplass, I'm gonna be like, not bad, Mark Duplass. Not bad.
Not bad.
Do you have any more honorable mentions?
I kept with just those. Well, forgetting Sarah Marshall was obviously a big strong candidate as well.
But The Dreamers is not anywhere on my list. It's never even going to be on my radar. You've ruined that movie for me with your perviness.
I'll send you a little soundbite of
it. Nope, that's okay. I don't need it. So my last honorable mention is sort of not even really a nude scene, but it is Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon. And the only time you see his dick is when he's going invisible, and he's walking through and it's like raining down on him. There's water like all over him, and you just see like the outline of his dick. It's just I was very young when I saw that, and I
wasn't
just
Wild Things too. He was in the shower, and you can sort of see his dong.
I don't know. I've never seen Wild Things. I've never seen Wild Things. I've had no interest in that movie at all. It just honestly looked like
it is garbage.
90s trash. Like
it's fantastic though.
It was made to be trash. And just like I've never seen Striptease.
Oh yeah,
and I've never watched Showgirls like all the way through. Like
I didn't either.
No interest in those whatsoever.
No.
All right, Jay. We've come to the moment. What is your number one? I'm so worried for what you have for number one. I really am.
You shouldn't be. Eyes Wide Shut.
Nicole Kidman?
No.
Or like everybody? Just the orgy?
The orgy room. The big orgy room.
Caligula.
It's just it. You know why? For me, mostly is because of the power of it. And the reality I felt. I immediately, from the first time watching it and still to this day, I feel like that shit exists. Like these fucking billionaires of just wealth and old crusty money.
I don't know if you know this, but like
of the Donald Trumps
orgy
of the world.
Sex parties are real. They exist. So
I know, but like this kind of level of weird crazy
you are
shit.
Not rich, so you wouldn't know, but this might exist, Jay.
I know, that's what thing, and they did it in such a realistic way.
And you're very good at pretending to be rich. You might get invited to one sometime.
I'm hoping to be the Tom Cruise one day.
Orgies are never going to work out the way you think they are in your head.
No,
it's a lot of guys standing around.
Yeah, just waiting their turn.
It's just a lot of old dong and guys like standing around. Just like you think a nude beach is going to be great, and you get there and everybody's over the age of 55, and you're like,
it's just they're just objects for the Harry Weinsteins of the world. Like I mean, it was just
who's Harry Weinstein?
Harvey.
All right, man. My number one, and it is one that'll stay with me forever. And it's just so good. Just Judge Reinhold is in the bathroom and he's thinking to himself about his sister's friend who's played by Phoebe Cates. And he's fapping it on the toilet as very, a ton of teenage kids did. And he's thinking of Phoebe Cates getting out of the pool and the song is playing. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And as she's walking towards the camera, she unstraps her bikini and you see Phoebe Cates, all up front. And, hey, Greg, you know how cute I always thought you were. And then he has like this full on like makeout scene with her in his head as he's jerking off on the toilet.
Oh man.
That may have been like one of the, like, I remember I saw that was one of the few times I saw a movie out because of a nude scene. Now, Fast Times at Ridgemont High is a fantastic, film from the 80s for many reasons other than the Phoebe Cates nude scene. But I actually sought this film out when I worked at Blockbuster when I was younger, just to see, and it might be one of the few nude scenes I've in a movie, because I'm usually like, nude scenes in a movie, they do nothing for me, but this might be one of the few ones where I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom too when this is over.
Right.
Maybe one of the few ones that because Phoebe Cates was gorgeous.
I know, she is.
So that is my number one. And I'm sure it's a number one for a lot of people too.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Absolutely.
People who, in the comment section on this episode, please guys, reach out to us. Let us know what your top five.
Yeah, we really want to listen to them and read them out.
And if any of you want to watch Dreamers and, write us a brief review of it, please do.
I dare you. Please do.
Please do. Give your impressions. Let us know how uncomfortable you feel and how many showers did it take for it to get off your skin.
Maybe a few. You might need to take one, before, during, and after.
So thanks, guys. Thanks for supporting us on Patreon. Thanks for listening to this
again,
episode. Guys. Keep your suggestions coming, all the stuff you'd like us to do for these Patreon episodes. And the next time that we do this, hopefully we will have the movie Cocktail for Serenity for you. Have a great night. Cheers.
Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed that Patreon preview. If you guys would like to subscribe to our Patreon, get more episodes of Super Movie Bros, make sure that you go to patreon.com/Super Movie Bros podcast. Thank you all for listening. Cheers.